So there are two really important things that I think a lot of people are missing from Mark Zuckerberg's announcement yesterday about the enshittification of Meta products, Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. Because a lot of people have been rightfully outraged about the removal of fact checkers, people who were paid to correct dangerous disinformation and conspiracy theories, and how, again, one of the richest people on the planet, this billionaire, is going to be enlisting you, the user, as unpaid labor so that you can fix their programs. We all see how well that's going for Elon Musk and Twitter, now X, right? So this is a serious issue. It's not a distraction, but these other two things we need to talk about. So Mark Zuckerberg is using dog whistles that MAGA recognizes. And yesterday in his announcement, he said something weird. He said that Meta is now going to allow its users to talk about immigration. And in the written announcement, they talk about how Meta users will now be able to talk about the LGBTQ community in a different kind of way. And what Zuckerberg is talking about, what he's now allowing on his platform, is hate speech. So in regard to immigration, there was never a time that you could not talk about immigration on Facebook, Threads, or Instagram. This was not a banned topic. What was banned, however, was the promotion of the Great Replacement conspiracy theory. The conspiracy theory that there's an evil cabal, and this is usually pinned on people of a certain religion, saying that this evil cabal is deliberately replacing white people with people of color, not just in the United States, but throughout the Western world. This is a dangerous conspiracy theory because this conspiracy theory is what motivates racist incels to go to places like Walmarts and to indiscriminately unalive people. The Great Replacement conspiracy theory has motivated people to walk into churches, into synagogues, and into schools with weapons of war so that they can subtract people from the population. So the way that Zuckerberg says in his video that people can now talk about immigration on Meta platforms is just so many levels of creepy, and it is so profoundly dangerous. And now it's going to be up to you and me, the end user, to correct this disinformation, this dangerous conspiracy theory, because he's not going to pay anyone to do it anymore. And the second thing, the second important topic, is the LGBTQ community. Now, Meta is basically changing its definition of hate speech. He's making it so that these anti-science bigots can go around saying that to be part of the LGBTQ community is making you, by definition, mentally ill. Or if you support the LGBTQ community, you are mentally ill. This kind of rhetoric, again, is profoundly dangerous and dehumanizing. Because when you other people because of the color of their skin or because of who they love, when you other people because of their gender or their gender expression, and you dehumanize them, that puts you on a pathway to accepting violence against that community. Before fascists are able to engage in state violence, they infect our language with violent ideas. And Mark Zuckerberg, one of the richest and most powerful people on the planet, with one of the strongest, if not the strongest, communication tools in the world, is adjusting his policies to give fascists more power towards moving towards state-sponsored violence against vulnerable communities. And with that state-sponsored violence comes inspired violence from ideologues who are aligned with the state, aka Donald Trump, the incoming president. So what can you do about this problem? Well, some people, they're going to delete their Meta profiles, their accounts, and good for them. But people like me, we're going to continue to use it because, frankly, there's not other ways for us to get our message out there. But what can all of us do to start working on addressing these problems? Well, we start to change the language for the better. The language that we use to shape ideas. We want to, over the next 4 years, knowing that Donald Trump and his administration aren't going to help us with this, over the next 4 years, we start using language to make disinformation and hate speech synonymous with pollution. Now, in yesterday's video, I talked about how negative externalities produced by mega corporations, the way that we control them is we impose taxes and fines on those negative externalities that affect us. Not just the users of these platforms, but everyone in our democracy and democracies around the world. Because when you pollute the information environment, you cause people to act out of fear of insane conspiracy theories that affects all of us. Doesn't matter if we're on these platforms or not. So over the next 4 years, any time that someone talks about disinformation or hate speech and what we can do about it, remind them that these things are pollution. When we frame the problem in that way, people understand you can stop companies from polluting our planet. You can stop people who are polluting the information environment that we all live in. So this problem isn't going to be fixed today, tomorrow, next year, or the next 4 years. But if we change the language that we're using today to shape the ideas of progressive politicians and advocates and activists, in the long run, we will be planting seeds, the seeds of the ideas of taxing these polluters. Planting that today means that 4, maybe 8 years from now, we will see taxes, regulation, and fines on those polluting our environment. So you're not powerless. Let's change the language together.